Let's talk about the No Kings protest. I think a lot of people have a lot of questions, as did I. So I went down a rabbit hole. So this past Saturday, October 18th, was the second installation of the No Kings rally protest that was launched in June. This weekend had about 7 million people participate. June had about 5 million. It was in all major cities. About 2,700 events were slated to occur on Saturday. These are the things that are going back and forth, the ping ponging effect, right? Is this a rally or a protest? A lot of people are saying it's a rally because you are setting up set times. You're having people register their information to be a part of this, right? Protests do not usually work that way. And you're given a record of those who are standing for this and that, which kind of will probably backfire or can backfire depending on this administration and how their mood swings, right? So the question came about, why are people wearing yellow? Yellow has been a unifying color used in a lot of movements, democratic movements over the years. So it's basically a unifying color. It's not the color of the movement, but it's now been tacked on top of it. Next question, why are people wearing costumes, inflatable costumes, right? And those of frogs. Well, there was a Portland protester who wore a frog costume protesting the ICE facility in Portland. He was pepper sprayed directly into the ventilation hole of that costume, right? So now it has become a symbol of a rebellion, and everyone is wearing costumes. Now, here's my take on it. I'm not one for the costumes. I think that it makes the whole event a little childish, right? That's one side of the coin. But the other side of the coin is that we are now dealing with a very childish administration, right? They take everything personally. Everything is personal, right? Everything is a personal attack, as many have seen with Trump's AI image in his video that he put on his platform of him in a plane that's actually taking a dump on all of the protests occurring across the country. So we're dealing with a childish administration. We're dealing with very emotionally immature people in power. So the costumes could very well be coddling these people and woo-wooing them, right? In the sense of, we're here peacefully. We're not here to cause a problem. We're here to practice our First Amendment right, to protest. But because y'all are so sensitive, let's put on some bright colors and make this more of a children's show, because that will go over better with your high egos and how easily they bruise. Then there's the question of, why aren't black people showing up? One, black people are showing up, but not in the way that we have in the past. And that's simply because if black people show up, the energy around protest / rally will become very divisive, tense, and it will give the police, the agents on the ground, an excuse to use excessive force. They're waiting for a reason, right? They're waiting. And I'm going to give it to the King's protest for staying off of making something the example or the reason behind Trump wanting to evoke the Insurrection Act. Because all of these protests / rallies this past weekend were, in all cases and purposes, peaceful. So they didn't give him a reason to do what he's been wanting to do for the longest time, which is militarize this country, deploy the military in every city, and have that type of rule. But the question still stands. Are the demands being heard, right? Because most protests have demands. Now, there is reasons for them to be out, right? I said raid, damn. Okay, maybe I'm thinking of some. But ICE actually going out and deploying into cities, detaining people, like, there are real issues on the table here. But the difference between a rally and a protest is that a protest makes those demands and they don't make light of them and they don't party around them. But again, we're dealing with a very infantile administration. So some things that we probably would have not done in the past for issues of this magnitude, I see people adopting to not rustle the feathers and have certain actions taken upon them. So for me, yeah, black people are going to sit home and sit out on this one because our presence will make it different. But you do it. Rally. Get the millions of people out the door, and hopefully it evokes a lot of change because more palm color people are participating. That's it. Bye.